So now we're about to do some practical examples of targeted EFT with my assistant Elaine. So I have a bank of 120 prepared statements here, and as I would for any client, I'm going to present them in an order that I know will help dismantle the defensive nature of the mind. This is the one I've found, the first one we're going to use here is the one I've found that has historically been the main way our own conscious mind, the fearful survival aspect, shuts us down. So as an example, you could wake up any old day and go, I'm over how I feel, I want to change it, and the conscious mind's going to quickly pull this one on you. And basically the EFT statement says, even though I feel scared, nervous, uncertain, confused, cautious, suspicious and defensive, I still deeply love and accept myself. What it actually means is you can have the desire for change, and we do at times. We go, I'm so over this, I want to create this new thing, I want to work in a new way, I want to love in a new way. And the conscious mind goes, hang on a minute buddy, I haven't authorised any change, you haven't run this by me yet, I don't think so. And then basically what it'll do is it'll go into that massive resource of stored files, and I don't think it ever really clears any files from our whole life, keeps them all up there in the library. Goes to the horror section of the library, grabs a handful of stuff it knows it can scare you with, runs it by your eyes, and then it'll throw us into a shutdown sequence. And this is effectively a shutdown sequence. This one statement alone will block most people most days, and it can use it on ourselves several times a day. So here we go. Please, Elaine, hold this in your left hand, and with your right arm give me an arm wrestle here. I want you to breathe through your nose deep into your belly, because we want to access the deep part of the belly for this one. Please read that aloud twice.
Even though I feel scared, nervous, uncertain, confused, cautious, suspicious and defensive, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Thank you. Nice deep breath. Do it again.
Even though I feel scared, nervous, uncertain, confused, cautious, suspicious and defensive, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Okay, good. Please hold that up. Now just drop your hand flat here. So in the kinesiology aspect of EFT that many people will know, but I'll just explain it to you. It says that in our life, whenever we go into a shock, a trauma, a fear, or feel vulnerable, we'll lock it into the system. We'll do this. Now that's stored in the system. So what they've found with the EFT process is that if I tap on a certain sequence of points here, these ones I'm very specifically tapping on, then these are the release points for how these things can be freed up from the mind. The rest of the EFT process deliberately throws the mind into a bit of overwhelm so that it can't handle everything that it's got going on. That little statement there has just activated from conception to now all of the times your mind's pulled that file on you. Now you could go, but my mind's on my side, it wants the best for me. Well, it does, provided it's got a guarantee. So what we're going to do here is take it out of the fear-based agendas, bring it back into present time. So we're about to be doing maybe 10 different statements out of my bank of 120, and you'll get to see and watch the reaction of Elaine as we go through, and I'll explain other parts as we go. So please read, have a nice deep breath. I feel down to defensive.
I feel scared, nervous, uncertain, confused, cautious, suspicious and defensive.
Good. Breathe through your nose. Tell me again.
I feel scared, nervous, uncertain, confused, cautious, suspicious and defensive.
So please look straight ahead, and then close both eyes and open them. And now, without moving your head, just your eyes, pull your eyes down to your left knee, then come back up, and right knee, then come back up. Have a nice deep breath. Keep your head still. Follow my fingers around the circle. Follow them back. Very good. Now please hum the start of Happy Birthday. That's right brain, so please count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's left brain. Now hum again. Good. Now breathe through your nose deep into your belly, and please read that again.
I feel scared, nervous, uncertain, confused, cautious, suspicious and defensive.
Breathe. Now that's the first sequence just tapped through. What I've found, the next statement is one that applies to Elaine, I know, at the moment, so we're just really working on things that are normal for people to encounter. Now this one is, the mind really likes to keep us a bit edgy and stressed, because if it can do that, it can interfere with our courage and our ability to be clear in the moment and think with an evolved way and follow through in an evolved way. So basically we're going to start taking down some of its defense systems. So, and not to leave it vulnerable, but to get rid of its excessive defense systems. You'll actually be in a stronger, more pleasant, more happier place in your life with your defense systems just on a mild setting rather than redlining all the time, which is what happens when a person's stressed. So here's another statement we're about to do. Please hold that in your left hand. Hold this one up, please. The whole thing times two, and tell us like you know the topic.
Even though I feel impatient, stressed, tired of waiting, frustrated, tense, anxious and over it, I still deeply love and accept myself.
Good, nice deep breath. Do it again.
Even though I feel impatient, stressed, tired of waiting, frustrated, tense, anxious and over it, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Hold that. Drop your hand. Please read I feel down to over it.
I feel impatient, stressed, tired of waiting, frustrated, tense, anxious and over it.
Breathe. Tell me again.
I feel impatient, stressed, tired of waiting, frustrated, tense, anxious and over it.
Good. Look straight ahead. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Look at your left knee. Come back up. Right knee. Come back up. Breathe. Follow my fingers around. And hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe through your nose. I feel. Yeah.
I feel impatient, stressed, tired of waiting, frustrated, tense, anxious and over it.
Good. Breathe. These statements may not appear to be too profound, but to the mind it knows exactly that it uses these statements on yourselves, and it's really slick and good at it, and for the most part you won't even know it's doing it to you. For all females out there, this is a very big statement, and once this one gets quietened down, you'll see a different world. You'll quite likely feel safer in a different world and have a better chance to respond better. So times 2, please, this one.
Even though I fear that my mind won't trust anyone and quickly judges, criticizes, finds faults, and always manages to see hidden issues and agendas that could be dangerous and costly to me, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Nice deep breath. Go again.
Even though I fear that my mind won't trust anyone and quickly judges, criticizes, finds faults, and always manages to see hidden issues and agendas that could be dangerous and costly to me, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Very good. Please rest your hand. You notice Elaine stumbled during that statement. What we'll find, please hold that, you haven't finished with it. What Elaine's done at that point, and that more specifically what her mind has done at that point, is if it hits a word or a topic on any of my pages that it doesn't want the person to be free from or clear, because it wants to continue to use that to manipulate and control them, it won't let the person read the word properly. And I've had women, and mainly women, 98% of my clients are women, but mainly, people who might read the word scared, and their head will read it as sacred. And sometimes the word will come up unlovable, and the mind would much prefer and frequently says unloved. There's a major difference in between the words. Unlovable means, under any definitions, I'm not worthy of loving. Unloved just means today I'm not feeling that loved. And so here's the head trying to protect itself and its ability to manipulate and control the individual by not speaking the right statements. So practitioners that do this sort of process have to be very, very on their game to make sure that it doesn't slip one by the person. So as we continue here, nice deep breath, I fear down to me.
I fear that my mind won't trust anyone and quickly judges, criticises, finds faults and always manages to see hidden issues and agendas that could be dangerous and costly to me.
Good. Please look straight ahead, close your eyes, open your eyes, look at your left knee, come back up, right knee, come back up, breathe, follow my fingers, hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe. I fear.
I fear that my mind won't trust anyone and quickly judges, criticises, finds faults and always manages to see hidden issues and agendas that could be dangerous and costly to me.
Good. Breathe. Nice again. I've spoken a lot about how childhood issues hang around, and this is a great example. So if ever you find that you're asked to speak up at a family function or at a public event and you go, oh my God, I get stage fright, I couldn't possibly do it, and from my view it'll have a lot to do with being shut down and told to be quiet as children growing up. And so this one here will certainly help to take a lot of that anxiety off the individual. So nice deep breath, please do that ×2.
Even though I fear being rejected, abused and punished for speaking up about what my needs are in my personal and business relationships, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Okay, nice deep breath, do it again.
Even though I fear being rejected, abused and punished for speaking up about what my needs are in my personal and business relationships, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Great. Fear down to relationships.
I fear being rejected, abused and punished for speaking up about what my needs are in my personal and business relationships.
Straight ahead, close your eyes, open your eyes, close them, open them, left knee, come back up, right knee, come back up, breathe, follow my fingers, hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe, no fear.
I fear being rejected, abused and punished for speaking up about what my needs are in my personal and business relationships.
Some people that are new to EFT and the way the process works will go, well, why would you want to load in a negative statement? These aren't actually negative statements. These are statements that your own mind will be using on you 24 hours a day. It's the negative thing. What we're doing is we're going, listen, head, stop harassing this person with this old statement. This is a childhood one. In Elaine's case, could have been in place 30 years or so. And basically, we're just saying to the mind, it's not helping her now. She needs an ability to speak up with courage. And that's why that topic comes out. So we're going to go to the next one here. This is another childhood one, and as you'll see and could feel yourself, it'll have implications in your own life. ×2, that one.
Even though I feel that bad things happen to good people, especially me, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Nice deep breath, do it again.
Even though I feel that bad things happen to good people, especially me, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
This is a childhood victim circuit. Now this can be in place at the age of 4 and 44 or 84, and it can wreak havoc at any age because the person's mind will go, life isn't fair, I'm a good person, why don't people share properly? But that fear base of it never really being equal can have its own reactions, making sure that it gets in first, gets needy, greedy, insensitive, and itself create problems because it's afraid to even be present enough to allow the opportunity to play out. It'll go, there's some cake, I'm going to grab the big bits, everybody else can deal with the rest of it themselves. And so what the whole process is aimed to do is get rid of the wound dysfunctional circuits that are taking up a lot of space in the mind and creating room for new healthy functions and reactions now. So as we clear this one, nice deep breath, I feel
that bad things happen to good people, especially me.
Good. Close your eyes, open your eyes, look at your left knee, right knee, breathe, follow my fingers, hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe, I feel.
I feel that bad things happen to good people, especially me.
Great, thank you. This next one here, all of these statements I've written myself, and I've got 120 as mentioned. We're just going into some that are relevant to the talk topic today, as you'll see. This is an interesting one here because the mind needs to develop, a conscious survival aspect of the mind needs to provide an escape route for you if it feels vulnerable. If you're in a room and or in a relationship or in a scenario that's feeling pressured, it will just switch off, just like it might have done when you're 4, 5, 6 or 7. The thing is, when you're 37 or 57 or 67 and you're in a relationship, it's not really the best option for it to be pulling this one on you, because the other person wants to try and work something out with you. As you'll see in the words chosen here, this is a great one for forcing the mind to come out of its hiding place, whether it's on a cloud or in a cave somewhere, and forces it back to be present and courageously deal with the situation in the moment. Nice deep breath, please, off you go, just a few times.
Even though I feel that my conscious mind, in its desire to protect me and keep me safe at all times, has created and contributed to my fears, anxieties, paranoia, and isolating levels of emotional and social dysfunction, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Very good, breathe nice and deep.
Even though I feel that my conscious mind, in its desire to protect me and keep me safe at all times, has created and contributed to my fears, anxieties, paranoia, and isolating levels of emotional and social dysfunction, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. I feel that my conscious mind, in its desire to protect me and keep me safe at all times, has created and contributed to my fears, anxieties, paranoia, and isolating levels of emotional and social dysfunction.
Good. Please look straight ahead. Close your eyes, open your eyes, look at your left knee, come back up, right knee, come back up, breathe, follow this, hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe, I feel.
I feel that my conscious mind, in its desire to protect me and keep me safe at all times, has created and contributed to my fears, anxieties, paranoia, and isolating levels of emotional and social dysfunction.
Good, breathe, thank you.
I feel like I just want to laugh when I read that statement.
What do you mean laugh?
There's just this laughter, like this, laughter from my head when I read that one.
Because it finds it funny?
Yeah, like try and get out of this one, baby.
Be more specific, because I'm not sure if we can include your description here on the
Oh,
term.
okay.
So in relation to,
I'm having, like, I notice an
Is it-
internal reaction, that's all.
is it sneering at the
Yeah,
part?
sneering at the statement.
Okay, so then that's a normal response actually. So the head will be trying to manipulate and hold its control, it won't like some of these statements. So when I'm working on a client in a proper session, which is 2 to 2.5 hours, I use 35 different pages, and part of that is to bludgeon the mind into submission, because if it was only using a small amount of EFT tapping, I know what my mind's like. It's very sophisticated, it's very slick, and it's very smart. So when it comes down to any amount of this or this, I don't think so. It's going to take a whole lot of pressure from a range of different angles that I can present to it to force it to change and even stop with its over defensiveness. This next one's really quite significant here, because if I spoke to Elaine or any of my clients and went, would you like to believe that your mind is on your side? We'd all pretty much answer, yes, of course, it's got my best intentions and goals as at the forefront. Of course it wants the best for me. Well, I'm not so sure, because I know that this thing runs physical and economic survival, and then what it'll do is it'll go. Of course, I want the best for you in theory, provided you don't inconvenience me very much, because I'm actually running you the way I want to run you, because you're pretty much under my control now. Now this one, as you'll see, exposes that agenda of the mind, and its goal ultimately is, I'll be nice enough to you provided you don't rock the boat. You rock the boat, I'm going to kick up a big fuss, and then sabotage, overwhelm, manipulate, scream, or create a problem for you to a degree that you'll just quieten down and not be able to get past it. Now we can watch that degree of manipulation in couples, and you'd go, bloody hell, poor man or poor woman, I wouldn't want to be them. But we actually, before we can even couple, we've actually got a relationship with ourselves we need to get on healthy alignment, and that's getting the head-heart balance back in place, and this is where I see that targeted EFT can go. So as we proceed here, we're just going to do another couple. This one here, nice deep breath, ×2.
Even though I feel that my mind is actually afraid to make any big changes, and I know that it sabotages all my efforts to achieve the goals, weight loss, love, and new life that I desire to have now, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Breathe nice and deep. Again.
Even though I feel that my mind is actually afraid to make any big changes, and I know that it sabotages all my efforts to achieve the goals, weight loss, love, and new life that I desire to have now, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Nice deep breath. I feel down to now.
I feel that my mind is actually afraid to make any big changes, and I know that it sabotages all my efforts to achieve the goals, weight loss, love, and new life that I desire to have now.
Good. That's got a real hidden clause in there, that one, and all of these I've written myself, as I've mentioned, but the clause is the mind will go, I'm prepared to allow you to have some degree of success and achievement in your world. However, the clause is, provided you don't inconvenience me. And so you might go, as you attempt to negotiate with your own mind, okay, well, what does that mean? I need to know what might inconvenience you. And the mind will go, no, pretty much anything you can come up with. Yeah, don't buck the system here, because I'll shut you down. So as we go to clear this, then we want to make sure we do a good job on this one. Nice deep breath, please. I feel down to now.
I feel that my mind is actually afraid to make any big changes, and I know that it sabotages all my efforts to achieve the goals, weight loss, love, and new life that I desire to have now.
Good, straight ahead. Close your eyes, open your eyes, look at your left knee, come back up, right knee, come back up, breathe, hum. And to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe, I feel.
I feel that my mind is actually afraid to make any big changes, and I know that it sabotages all my efforts to achieve the goals, weight loss, love, and new life that I desire to have now.
Good, great. So the collective challenge of all of this is it could present the individual with a degree of depression, and the next circuit will be dealing with that. In my bank here, I've got at least 10 different circuits that help at removing depression, but I'm just going to select one now that's more applicable to the story at the moment. If Elaine was displaying or expressing feelings of being majorly depressed, maybe suicidal, very stressed out, or very alienated, then I'd be using all of the 10 to take out the way the mind could be hiding in different areas. This one here, you'll see, is a classic day-to-day example of how it can mask depression, and you might go, I don't even have depression, what are they on about? Well, see how this one feels. Nice deep breath, ×2, please.
Even though I feel judged, criticised, unheard, invisible, ignored, unworthy, unvalued, unloved, unappreciated, used, abused, exhausted, and overwhelmed, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Great. Nice deep breath.
Even though I feel judged, criticised, unheard, invisible, ignored, unworthy, unvalued, unloved, unappreciated, used, abused, exhausted and overwhelmed, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Great. Just hold for a second. The importance of that one's enormous, because many a person could be living in a stable marriage, in a nice home with a degree of prosperity and things happening in their life, a family to look after, but their head can still be pulling and drawing on any of those topics to have them withdraw, feeling alienated, not feeling heard and respected well enough, not feeling loved or appreciated, so in themselves and quite overwhelmed. So when their husband or partner returned, that person's then going to cop the pressure of how that particular circuit's played out for the individual. Even if everything under most definitions suggests that they're a success under standard social definitions. So we're going to clear this one now. Nice deep breath. I feel.
I feel judged, criticised, unheard, invisible, ignored, unworthy, unvalued, unloved, unappreciated, used, abused, exhausted and overwhelmed.
Straight ahead, close your eyes, open your eyes, look at your left knee, right knee, breathe, follow my fingers, hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe, I feel.
I feel judged, criticised, unheard, invisible, ignored, unworthy, unvalued, unloved, unappreciated, used, abused, exhausted and overwhelmed.
Great, thank you. So as mentioned, 120 I can select from, and many of them will appear in most people's statements. There's certainly a common theme that can go through clients' realities, and certainly when it comes to rebuilding and re-establishing a strengthy position to end with. We're going to go straight to this one here. This is frequently the last one that I use. This isn't a standard consultation by any means, but it's just going to give you an idea of what happens, and there's way more statements in here that will take your mind's breath away because of how precise and challenging it can be, exacting to how it's manipulating the individual at the moment or in that time frame or frequently in their lives. It doesn't have to do a topic all of the time to influence you in that way. It can just have it stored and go, yeah, I'll just pull that on them now, that'll get their attention and they will become compliant again to my goals and needs. So here's the last one that we're going to do right now, times 2.
Even though I fear living to my potential, loving courageously and being responsible and passionately involved in the direction and creation of my own life now, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I fear living to my potential, loving courageously and being responsible and passionately involved in the direction and creation of my own life now, I still deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
That fear down to now.
I fear living to my potential, loving courageously and being responsible and passionately involved in the direction and creation of my own life now.
Good. Look straight ahead, close your eyes, open your eyes, left knee, right knee, breathe, follow my fingers, hum. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Breathe, I fear.
I fear living to my potential, loving courageously and being responsible and passionately involved in the direction and creation of my own life now.
Good. Breathe. Right. Thank you, Elaine, for doing that.
You're welcome, thank you. I do feel better.
Okay, wow. That's just a short example of how maybe 7 or 8 different statements can be applied in a practical session of targeted EFT. When I'm doing this with my Skype clients or my clients face-to-face in my shop in Australia, I will be doing around 35 pages, depending upon their specific story, sometimes 40, but it really comes down to what do I feel, what do I know I need to address there to get their mind back into alignment and allow their heart to come back. The important thing is understanding that courage, that really important aspect of ourselves, lives in our heart. So your mind can have all the plans and goals and views that it wants, but if it doesn't hold the emotional courage and strength, it won't be able to bank and support the changes that you want to have to live and love better in your life with. So thank you very much for watching this, and I hope I've inspired you. There's contact details supplied, and we will be uploading more information down the line. All the best, and thank you.